Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Now guys, let's take a look in the gold market. Here's a picture very similar to euro currency. Market stands quiet. Nobody wants to take a lot of risk and just decide to wait for big events of this week. So payrolls report and the comments from the Christine Lagarde on the perspective of the European economy. So maybe for the gold, the European Central Bank is not actually the primary event, but for the euro currency it is. So on a daily chart, it's nothing to comment. Mostly everything stands in the same area that we discussed. Now we just need to make some conclusions on the chances of the possible upward direction today, tomorrow. Here are some signs that we have. So on the 4-time frame chart, what are particularly interesting is that it's a bit tricky situation here. Why it's tricky? Because on the top, on the 4-time frame chart, you could see two minor grabbers have been formed. But I would be really careful with these patterns and wouldn't rely on it too much, mostly because of the other things that we have. First of all, if we take a look at the dollar index on 10-year bonds, you could see that actually on the dollar index, it might be the bearish grabber to be formed inside of this consolidation. It's not confirmed yet since this candle is not closed, but it potentially bearish for the dollar. So here's might be some extension to the downside. It's not granted yet, but this risk exists. Second is on a 10-year bonds, you can see yields are dropping, which is also potentially supportive for the gold market. This is what we have on a cross-market analysis. I would add situation on the Great British Pound and Euro currency that we discussed today. Here and there you could see some bullish signs, or better said, weakness signs for the United States dollar. So that's why on the gold market, despite that we have here as minor grabbers that suggest dropping below these lows, maybe this will happen. I can't say definitely, but taking it all together, I would give them less chances to happen than the possible upward continuation. Because even on the 4-time frame chart, you could see that we have here signs of the bullish dynamic pressure. So MACD shows downside direction, but price action is not. It's forming high lows. And in general, here you clearly could recognize the shape of the potential triangle. So if we take a look at the hourly chart I have drawn here, that's potentially a pattern that we could get. And for nearest two sessions, today, tomorrow, I would consider this XOP as the nearest standing target, 34.10 approximately. This ABCD has shown this great thrusting action in excess of the OP. OP was right here. Now it turns to the triangle consolidation, which is potentially bullish. It's possible reaching with the XOP. Yesterday entry has worked really nice, so we talked about these possible grabbers inside of this minor consolidation and butterfly confluence area. So that's the reason actually why we every time recommend to split the position. When you're sure with the direction, you definitely know that you would like to trade in a particular direction. The splitting of the position and taking it apart very often, and I would say in the majority of cases, give you better result because your average position lets you to be not miss the possible upward action because the first part of your position you're taking at the nearest standing levels. And in general, average position might be not as worse as position that you could take, say, at the right and reversal point. Yes, it will be a bit worse, but not actually significantly. But in these cases, as you could see here, if you would split position and take first part around the grabber that we talked about recently, now you are in the market. While if you were waiting for possible deep retracement, as we said, it might be ABCD or something around 33, slightly higher, that position has not been taken. And you're out of the market if you were waiting for particular this level. And that's the simple logic stands behind it, based on the probability. So for now, I'm really hope that we will see the upside breakout of this section. But at the same time, it's difficult to find what you could do currently. Of course, while we stand inside of the triangle, you could try to take the position. Maybe it's kind of the even deeper retracement back to the triangle line or something. But in this case, you anyway will have to place your stop at least below the confluence. Where the target stands almost on the same distance in your stop, it will be not best trade that you could do. It's not forbidden, of course, but the probability will not stand clearly, evidently in your favor. So it will be approximately 1-to-1 risk to reward. And here, as usual with the triangles, we could get the butterfly, right? So it might be, sorry. So maybe 127 extension probably will be somewhere around XOP, right? So it's easily might be kind of the left wing, right wing, and our prediction to the XOP. So that being said, currently we really hope and see some signs that our prediction could continue. If we will be correct, the nearest target that we consider is around 34.11. The short-term invalidation point for all this stuff stands below 33.35 conference area, so below this low. So if market somehow will break it down, I probably will have to start searching for different patterns for a deeper retracement. So it might be at least cheaper to buy with a possible entry around 33 and so on. Maybe some even bigger patterns. In this case, but until now, the hand shorts is still valid, and overall performance suggests that this tendency that we have based on this pattern is still in progress. It is not destroyed yet. That's why we're focused on the smaller patterns that we have right now in place.